We are live. Let's make this happen. Share screen. I'm at the beautiful Salesforce Tower, and when you are at the Salesforce Tower and you're looking at the entire city, the city of San Francisco, the Silicon Valley, it kind of breaks your mind. It kind of breaks your mind because this is the tallest building. I'm at the WeWork and looking at everything, all these massive old buildings, these mega structures from the top. It kind of breaks your mind. So let's learn a bit about Salesforce Tower. Salesforce Tower, San Francisco. All right, right here, the massive, massive building. This is the Transamerica Pyramid, and this is 181 Fremont, the beautiful park, iconic skyscraper that dominates the San Francisco skyline, standing at an impressive 326 meters. Currently, the tallest building in San Francisco and the second tallest building on the West Coast. 61-story, located at 415 Mission Street in the south of Market District. Designed by renowned Argentine-American architect Cesar Pelli, Salesforce Tower boasts a striking obelisk-shaped silhouette with a sleek, tapering profile. The building's exterior features a unique glass curtain wall surrounded by a lattice of white aluminum fins and perforated sunshades. These elements not only contribute to the tower's aesthetic appeal but also serve functional purposes. The glass facade allows abundant natural light to flood the interior. Integrated metal sunshades on each floor help maximize light and views while reducing solar gain. The building employs water conservation measures and air intake systems for improved sustainability. You have to think about so many things, just starting from the fact that you are building the tallest building in one of the most earthquake prone zone in in let's say the West Coast. San Francisco, in the last video we saw, San Francisco was kind of already destroyed, like three quarters of the entire city was destroyed from the 1906 earthquake. And now you're building the tallest tower in that same area. The amount of technology that goes into it, and then thinking about all these specific things like the glass facade to bring in all the natural light, the sunshades to maximize light but also reducing solar gain, and then thinking about all the fancy technology like water conservation and air intake systems, sustainability and stuff. Let's actually check out the view. The sky hasn't cleared up. It's still really, really foggy up here. I'm in the WeWork meeting room, but okay, let's see. Ohana floor, 61st floor. So there's an observation deck and lounge for Salesforce employees and guests. Offers panoramic views of the Bay Area and is made available for use by nonprofits on evenings and weekends. Top of the building features a public art light sculpture consisting of 11,000 LEDs, which displays video animations every evening visible from up to 30 miles away. Oh, yeah, I think I saw this. Displays video animations every evening visible from up to 30 miles away. These, the top floors, this little white area, that is where you can see animations. Yeah, the white floors. Seismic design. Given San Francisco's seismic activity, the tower incorporates advanced engineering techniques to withstand strong earthquakes. Foundation includes 42 piles driven nearly 300 feet to bedrock and a 14-foot thick foundation mat. Designed as a green building, incorporating various environmentally friendly features such as high efficiency air handlers and comprehensive water recycling systems. Connected to the Salesforce Transit Center, major transportation hub, has not only redefined the skyline but also played a significant role in stimulating economic growth and urban development in its surrounding area. Hmm. Tell me the story of how the idea of building Salesforce Tower came about. Let's see if we have any details about any interesting story about how they came up with this idea and what was the story, how was this decision made. What would become the tower originated as part of a larger urban redevelopment initiative in the downtown area. This ambitious project began taking shape in the early 2000s, aimed to revitalize the neighborhood surrounding the old Transbay terminal. Right here, right here. Oh, this is the Chicago one. Yeah, I cannot imagine the beautiful views. I'm already kind of mesmerized because even looking over the entire beautiful bay area and all the mountains from Pacific Heights, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. The sun, the hill, the massive mansions and beauty. It's great. It's great. Okay, 2005 adopted a redevelopment plan for the area surrounding the Salesforce Transit Center. This plan, known as the San Francisco Transbay Development, was a comprehensive scheme to transform approximately 40 acres across a dozen city blocks in the Soma district. Transbay designed for development plan created by the San Francisco Redevelopment Agency, the San Francisco Planning Department, and Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill was crucial in laying the groundwork for the tower. This plan established frameworks for land use, circulation and parking, streetscapes and open space, vertical development. Hmm. They do call it a vertical village. Land use is actually kind of crazy when you come this when you look at the skyline of San Francisco, this clearly stands out. This tower clearly stands out. You're looking at the skyline, and this clearly stands out. But when you're close up, when you're standing over here, right over here, you feel like, wow, this building is so small. This building is so like from a width perspective, it takes such a less land. It takes just a little bit of land, but this massive tower can be seen from so far away and looks like a giant it looks like a giant something crazy. Okay. Land use, circulation and parking, streetscapes and open space, vertical development. Goal was to create a thriving extension of the city's urban environment while maintaining design consistency and allowing for architectural creativity. Hmm. Maintaining design consistency and allowing for architectural creativity. It's crazy that when you build something so tall, which you know will be will be majority, will be how the city skyline will be known for, you kind of have to think about design consistency. You cannot just build something crazy. 2007, Pelly Clark Pelly Architects won an international competition to design both the tower and the Salesforce Transit Center at its base. The winning proposal focused on sustainability, neighborhood development, and financial feasibility. Began to take concrete shape with these key events. 2011, demolition of the old Transbay terminal. March 2013, groundbreaking for the tower, then known as Transbay Tower. 2014. 2014. Oh, interesting, interesting. So it was earlier known as Transbay Tower. 2014, Salesforce signed a lease for 700,000 square feet, becoming the anchor tenant and securing naming rights. Interesting, interesting. So the idea of Salesforce Tower came from the city. They wanted to build the thing. San Francisco Redevelopment Agency and San Francisco Planning Department. They wanted to build the thing, and they had already been like 3 years into construction. And then Salesforce comes in. They are like, okay, we will take we will become the anchor tenant. So now the tower would be called Salesforce Tower. Very interesting. I thought this was the entire idea of Salesforce, but this is good to know. Construction of the Salesforce Tower started in 2013 and completed in 2018, so 5 years. 5 years is exactly the same time that Golden Gate Bridge. It took Golden Gate Bridge to develop, but we know Golden Gate Bridge was kind of being developed like 100 years ago, 75 years ago, and in a very crazy, very dangerous condition. And that seems like a marvel. So Golden Gate Bridge definitely trumps Salesforce Tower in terms of the complexity. Construction started in 2013 and was completed in 2018. The tower's development, which cost over 1.1 billion, resulted in 61-story super tall skyscraper. Novel approach to public-private collaboration, urban development. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, so what was the contribution of Salesforce in building the Salesforce Tower? Or were they just like, hey, you build the entire thing, we'll just take up the offices? Primarily as the anchor tenant and namesake, rather than as the developer or builder. Very interesting. Very interesting. Primarily as the anchor tenant and namesake. Wow. This is interesting. Because most of the people think that Salesforce Tower was built by Salesforce. Very interesting. Very interesting. This was the idea of the city, the redevelopment agency. Origin: the city of San Francisco adopted a redevelopment plan for the area surrounding the Salesforce Transit Center. Vertical development, thriving extension of the city's urban environment. Very interesting. Okay. Anchor tenant: 2014, Salesforce.com signed a lease for 700,000 square feet to become the building's anchor tenant. Lease was valued at $560 million over 15 and a half years, starting in 2017. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So after 15 and a half years, you don't know. You never know. Salesforce Tower might become something else. It might become OpenAI Tower. We don't know. Perplexity Tower. This commitment led to the building being renamed from Transbay Tower to Salesforce Tower. Lease was bad. This is massive. Like when you're, this is massive. Branding. When when you have this massive building that is part of the skyline of the Silicon Valley, of the most important city in the world, let's say, where all the dollars are flowing, where all the investments, where all the technology is being built, and your name is called Salesforce Tower, everybody now pays attention. Everybody now holds Salesforce in that regard. 560 million over 15 and a half years starting in 2017. This commitment led to the building being renamed. Expansion. Tower became, yeah, this is also interesting. Like a bunch of buildings around Salesforce Tower are also Salesforce. I think this one is Salesforce. Behind behind it, these two are also Salesforce, something like that. There are three buildings around Salesforce Tower that are also Salesforce. Became the focal point of their urban campus, dramatically expanding its worldwide headquarters. They leased more than half of 1.4 million square foot building, adding over 700,000 square feet for its urban campus. Economic impact: announced plans to hire more than 1,000 people in the Bay Area in 2014, reinforcing its position as San Francisco's largest tech employer at the time. Plan to feature a next generation executive briefing center in the tower to showcase its innovative platform and applications. Serves as an observation deck and lounge for Salesforce employees and guests, made available for use by nonprofits on evenings and weekends. They have used the tower as a platform for community engagement and philanthropy. During the tower's grand opening, Salesforce.org donated 1.5 million to Hamilton Families Heading Home initiative to address family homelessness in San Francisco. Hmm. While they did not build or develop the tower itself, that was done by Boston Properties and Hines, its commitment as a primary tenant was crucial in making the project a reality and shaping its identity as a landmark in San Francisco airline skyline, not airline. Interesting. Designed by renowned Argentine American Cesar Pelli. Tell me the story of architect. Bad question, but let's see what it spits out. Let's see what Perplexity comes out with. Okay. Oh, Petronas Twin Tower. Interesting. Is that Cesar Pelli? That might be Cesar Pelli. I'm guessing this is Salesforce Tower. Okay. Renowned architect who designed the Salesforce Tower had a remarkable journey in the world of architecture. Born October 12, 1926, San Miguel de Tucumán, Argentina, developed a passion for drawing and construction from an early age. He chose to study architecture at the age of 16 despite not knowing much about it initially. Earned his degree from National University of Tucumán in Argentina and later moved to the United States to pursue a master's degree at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Champaign professional development. After completing his education, his career took off. He worked with the influential architect Eero Saarinen, contributing to projects like the TWA terminal at JFK Airport in New York. From 1964 to 77, associated with various firms developing expertise in glass skin technology. Hmm. Associated with various firms developing expertise in glass skin technology. Let me check the view. The sun's out, but it's still very foggy today. Let's see. Okay. Developing expertise in glass skin technology, 77, he established his own practice, Cesar Pelli and Associates. Now Pelli Clark Pelli. Concurrently, he served as the dean of the Yale School of Architecture from 77 to 84. Okay. Philosophy. A focus on creating buildings that contribute positively to their urban environment. Emphasis on sustainability and context sensitive design. Context sensitive design. Belief in the importance of natural light and the integration of buildings with their surroundings. Hmm. Importance of natural light and integration of buildings with their surroundings. That is interesting. Right, when I'm over here, I think very few lights are being used. It's mostly lit up by natural light. There's a lot of natural light coming in. Okay. He designed numerous iconic structures. Pacific Design Center in LA, World Financial Center in New York City. I believe this is World Financial Center. Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur, Salesforce Tower in San Francisco. Earned him numerous accolades. American Institute of Architects Gold Medal, recognition as one of the 10 most influential living American architects in 91, Aga Khan Award for Architecture in 2004 for his design of the Petronas Towers. He passed away in 2019, leaving behind a legacy of innovative and contextually sensitive architectural design that continued to shape skylines around the world. Very interesting. I want to know more about this. Let's see. San Salesforce Towers, Salesforce Towers goal was to create a thriving extension of the city's urban environment while maintaining design consistency and allowing for architectural creativity. Let's see. Ambitious urban redevelopment initiative. The massive lobby area. This is beautiful. This is beautiful that it's like mostly glass, which is crazy to think that of the very bottom of this massive 61-story building, one quarter of it is just glass. So this glass is probably supporting a lot of it. We do have these three pillars, which is distributing the weight, but it's crazy to think. This is the Bay Bridge. Really cool. Early 2000s adopted a redevelopment plan for the area surrounding the old Transbay terminal, known as the Transit Center District Plan. Collaborative effort involving the San Francisco Redevelopment Agency, the San Francisco Planning Department, and Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. 40 acres across a dozen city blocks in Soma district. Frameworks for land use, circulation, parking, streetscapes, and open space vertical development provide consistency in urban design while allowing for architectural creativity. Balance density with access to sunlight and open space, incorporate pedestrian friendly public improvements, and activate ground floor spaces. Architectural vision. Pelly Clark Pelly won an international competition to design both the Salesforce Tower and the adjacent Salesforce Transit Center. The winning proposal focused on sustainability, neighborhood development, financial feasibility, tapering silhouette with curved glass corners, curved glass corners, transparent crown that appears to dissolve into the sky. It's actually beautiful. I saw some drone shots of the crown, which is I believe 9 floors or something. Not nine, maybe one, two, three, four, five, 6 floors maybe. And it's open. There is no the core ends over here, and then this doesn't have the core, so it's transparent and appears to dissolve in the sky. It is very cool. Integrated metal sun shades on each floor to maximize light and views while reducing solar gain. Let's actually learn about it. I do see the sun shades, but I'm not sure what solar gain means. Represents a novel approach to public-private collaboration. Key features include direct connection to the Salesforce Transit Center housing 11 Bay Area transit systems, 5.4-acre public park. The public park is beautiful. The park is beautiful. Here's the park. It is beautiful. It's actually crazy, like how much of this work has been done by the city, but just because it's called Salesforce Tower, a lot of people, even I thought everything has been done by Salesforce. Hmm. Advanced sustainability features, including a black water recycling system. Integration with the surrounding area aim to stimulate economic growth and create a vibrant extension of the urban core. Help centralize jobs in a transit-oriented downtown area, which was identified as critical to San Francisco's continued economic success. Let's check out the sunshade thing. Tell me more. I'm also curious who were the other candidates or other proposals for the architectural vision of this place. That would be interesting to know. Hmm. Incorporates innovative integrated metal sunshades on each floor with so multiple purposes. Key feature of the tower's facade: maximize natural light penetration into the interior spaces, preserve expansive views for occupants. That's true. You always feel like you're looking at everything. There's nothing blocking the view. Preserve expansive views for occupants, significantly reduce solar heat gain. These sunshades are carefully calibrated to achieve an optimal balance between these objectives. The system consists of an aluminum sunshade grid that sits proud of the glass skin. The system consists of an aluminum sunshade grid that sits proud of the glass skin, adding texture and depth to the building's exterior. Adding texture and depth. Carefully calibrated to achieve an optimal balance between these objectives. Maximize natural light penetration into the interior spaces, preserve expansive views for the occupants, significantly reduce solar heat gain. Play a crucial role in towers' energy efficiency strategy. Help reduce the building's cooling load by blocking unwanted solar radiation. Work in conjunction with high performance, low emissivity glass to further minimize heat gain. Contribute to the tower's LEED Platinum certification. High performance, low emissivity glass to further minimize heat gain. By effectively managing daylight and solar heat, the sunshades enhance occupant comfort in several ways. reduce glare, improving visual comfort for those working inside, help maintain a more consistent interior temperature, allow for ample natural light, which is known to improve well being and productivity. Architectural impact. Beyond their functional benefits, the sunshades also serve an aesthetic purpose. They add visual interest to the tower's exterior. The white epoxy coating on the aluminum contains mica, which interacts with San Francisco's unique quality of light. Interesting. Contribute to the building's distinctive appearance on the city skyline. Interesting. So you're looking at these sunshades. This is the sunshade, I believe. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see what the view is like now. Oh wow, it is sunny, but it is really foggy outside. So we cannot see the beautiful view. Okay. The white epoxy coating on the aluminum contains mica, which interacts with San Francisco's unique quality of light. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more about what is the unique quality of light of San Francisco. What is this? Performance test, micro performance test, mica ground at 200 degrees Celsius, epoxy temperature, mass change. Okay, interesting. Okay, thoughtful design choice that enhances the building's visual appeal and interaction with San Francisco's distinctive light conditions. Naturally occurring mineral known for its reflective and light scattering properties. Shimmering effect. Mica particles create a subtle pearlescent sheen that adds depth and visual interest to surfaces. Light interaction. The flaky structure of mica allows it to reflect and refract light in complex ways, creating dynamic visual effects as lighting conditions change. Mica enhances the coating's weather resistance and longevity, contributing to the building's overall durability. Mica enhances the coating's weather resistance and longevity. San Francisco is known for its unique quality of light, characterized by a frequent fog and mist. Right, we're looking at the fog. Rapidly changing weather conditions, golden hour light during sunrise and sunset. The golden hour is beautiful. Mica infused coating on the Salesforce Tower's sunshades is specifically designed to capitalize on these light conditions. Subtle shimmer. In foggy conditions, the mica create a soft, diffused glow that helps the building stand out without appearing overly bright or harsh. Hmm. Diffused glow, dynamic appearance. As the light changes throughout the day, the mica particles reflect and scatter light differently, causing the building's appearance to shift subtly. Enhanced depth. The interaction between the mica particles and San Francisco's often golden hued light during sunrise and sunset likely creates a warm, dimensional effect on the building surface. Very interesting. Enhanced depth, dynamic appearance, subtle shimmer. Overall architectural design in several ways. Texture and depth. Visual texture to the building's exterior, creating a more interesting and dynamic facade. Integration with surroundings. Building respond to its environment, reflecting the changing sky and light conditions of San Francisco. Distinctive appearance. Unique interaction between the mica coating and San Francisco's light helps make the Salesforce Tower recognizable and iconic part of the city's skyline. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see. This is a very minor, specific thing that not many people would know about, but it does make a change. Shimmering effect, light interaction, durability, shimmer, dynamic appearance, enhanced depth, texture and depth, integration with surroundings, distinctive appearance. Interesting, interesting. Okay. What were the other proposals for the redevelopment of Transbay Terminal? Let's see what we get over here. Transbay program redevelopment went through several stages of planning and proposals before the current plan was adopted. Okay. Considerations 96. Then San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown proposed the idea of redeveloping the earthquake damaged Transbay Transit Center, Salesforce Transit Center, Natoma Street, Mission Street, Howard, Fremont, First, Second, Under Ramp Park, Transbay Redevelopment Zone, Zone 2. Yeah, look at this park. Park is beautiful. This is the transit center. Yeah, last night when I was going down this escalator, behind it, I saw people just dancing. That was really cool. I think there was a dance class or something, which is really cool. Initially, there were likely debates about whether to rebuild or simply repair the existing terminal. Decision to rebuild. Ultimately, decided that the Transbay terminal should be completely rebuilt, extending rail service into the new terminal under 2nd Street, suggesting that alternative locations or configurations were considered. Evolving vision. A new regional transit terminal, removal of existing structures, expansion of bus and rail service, downtown extension of Caltrain from 4th and Townsend Streets, creation of a high density commercial core around the transit center. Yeah, very high density. This is very high density because you have a lot of buildings, a lot of tall buildings. You have the Salesforce Tower, and then you have the transit. So, high density core, new housing, including affordable units, addition of public parks. I'm not sure about the new housing and affordable units. Addition of public parks and open spaces. Final plan embraced the concept of transit-oriented development, which likely competed with other urban planning approaches. Create a walkable neighborhood around public transportation, reduce emissions, improve efficiency, conserve land and reduce suburban sprawl, improve public health through increased walking and biking. It incorporated and refined various ideas that emerged during the planning process. Hmm. Tell me interesting facts and stories during the construction of Salesforce Tower. Let's see if we get something. I heard about these poles or these piles that are driven into the bedrock because how tall the building is, and also because you have to make something earthquake prone. But let's see. The tower's foundation is perfect. That's the first one. Socketed into bedrock more than 313 feet in the ground, making it the deepest foundation in San Francisco. I think I saw, uh, I think I saw Taylor Swift stuff happening over here in the animations. Okay. Deepest foundation in San Francisco, 42 load-bearing elements were used to create the foundation, interconnected by a thick mat to form 42 load-bearing elements were used to create the foundation, interconnected by a thick mat to form a solid base for the tower. The excavation process was challenging due to the adjacent Transbay Transit Center's simultaneous construction requiring a temporary internal bracing system. Construction scale. It took over 2.5 million people hours to build the Salesforce Tower. Took over 2.5 million people hours to build the Salesforce Tower. 12,000 tons of steel were used in the construction. The project cost over 1.1 billion to complete. 1.1 billion. It kind of makes sense. Like some of the properties over here, like in Pacific Heights, a big mansion bought by Steve Jobs Steve Jobs' widow was she paid $80 million for that massive mansion in Pacific Heights. That's not only because it's a mansion, but also it's in Pacific Heights. Um, it's around other mansions. It has a beautiful view. So the cost was 80 million. So 1.1 billion for a commercial center like this in the downtown makes sense. Seems seems like it's not that expensive. Innovative design and engineering. The tower uses a high performance core that encloses all elevators, emergency stairs, restrooms, and mechanical systems in high strength concrete, creating an extremely strong structural spine. Innovative design eliminated the need for dense structure at the exterior window line, allowing for panoramic views with only three columns on each side of the building. Hmm, that's interesting. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. So because you have such a strong core, you can have around it, you can then build stuff around, you can build the exterior around it, and that exterior doesn't need a lot of, what do they say, dense structure. So you can see things outside. The core is inside, which is holding the entire building. Then you have built a lot of low density stuff around. It's just floors and chairs and everything. And then you can see the panoramic views. Building employs a performance-based seismic design (PBSD) approach, which was necessary to exceed the city's 240 feet height limit for concrete shear wall buildings. Right. So around San Francisco, I think there was just a mandate that you couldn't build something taller. That was the reason why, for a long time, the downtown didn't see any skyscrapers. Environmental features. Salesforce Tower incorporates the largest blackwater recycling system in a high rise commercial building in the United States, reducing drinking water use by 3 billion liters per year. I'm actually curious, what is this blackwater recycling system? Building is designed to be a green building employing water conservation measures and air intake systems. Groundbreaking took place on March 27, 2013. 2016, Salesforce Tower surpassed the Transamerica Pyramid as the tallest building in San Francisco, breaking the 43-year record. The topping off ceremony occurred on April 6, 2017, marking it as the tallest occupiable building west of Chicago. A complex structure soil structure interaction analysis had to be carried out to ensure the tower would not negatively impact the seismic performance of the adjacent Salesforce Transit Center. Wind tunnel testing was conducted to confirm that the building would meet occupant comfort standards against international benchmarks. In 2019, a pair of cracked windows were discovered on the 12th and 14th floors, though they pose no danger of falling glass as the cracks were on the inner panes of dual glazed windows. This is also interesting. It would be interesting to see what are the challenges, because usually when I know in Vancouver, a lot of luxury buildings are being built in the downtown area, and as more and more luxury buildings are built, and as it becomes a good business, sometimes they don't focus too much on some things. They just don't focus, and there are a lot of issues. Like, I know there is one new building that has a lot of that has flooding issue, and it's kind of crazy. You are paying so much money, the building looks beautiful, it is new, it is luxury, it adds to the skyline, you want to live there, it offers great views, great amenities, but then they would not focus on one small thing, and that would kind of break the entire experience of living in that building. Let's see, what do we have about this Blackwater recycling system? Tell me more. Tell me more. I also want to know what other issues has the tower been through. Let's see. Blazing trails in sustainability. Epic Cleantech is now operating the largest on-site water reuse system in a commercial building. Right, every vendor that is working with Salesforce Tower, this is kind of their dream client. I need a groundbreaking feature in sustainable building design. However, there's a slight correction needed in the query. Oh, oh, Perplexity made a mistake. The system reduces drinking water use by approximately 29.5 million liters, not 3 billion liters. Hmm. Blackwater recycling system is designed to treat up to 30,000 gallons of water per workday, save an estimated 7.8 million gallons of drinking water annually, offset the total daily water usage of about 300 people. Okay. System collects wastewater from various sources: rooftop rainwater, cooling towers, showers, sinks, toilets, urinals. Okay. Collected water undergoes a six-step treatment process in a centralized treatment center located in the building's basement. Okay. So rainwater, cooling towers, showers, sinks, toilets, and urinals take all that water, take it to the basement of the building, goes through a six-step process. Treated water is then recirculated through a separate pipe system for non-portable uses such as toilet flushing, drip irrigation, cooling tower operation. Makes sense? Environmental impact: reduce the building's water consumption by 76%, reduce the building's water consumption by 76%, provide water recycling for all tenants in Salesforce Tower, offset the annual water consumption equivalent to 16,000 San Francisco residents. Represents a unique partnership between Salesforce, Boston Properties, the city of San Francisco. It's the first collaboration of its kind in the United States between a city government, building owner, and tenant to support black water use in a commercial high-rise building. I think this is where Salesforce comes into play, like because they are kind of focused really on, they have made the money. Now they're really focused on impacting the society and like doing the green stuff, doing the sustainable stuff. You kind of need a tenant like that who can work with the city of San Francisco, who also has the money, who also has kind of that vision, and they can work with the city to make sure we are promoting such collaboration, such kind of use. System utilizes membrane bioreactor technology, which combines membrane-based microfiltration or ultrafiltration biological waste treatment process. Membrane-based microfiltration or ultrafiltration. This advanced treatment ensures the recycled water meets stringent quality standards for non-potable use. Makes sense. Let's check the fog. Fog is still there, but it is very sunny out there now. Let's see. Let's see. We might be able to observe a beautiful view in a couple hours. Okay. I'm really curious. What was the reaction of San Francisco residents towards San Francisco residents towards Salesforce Tower after completion? That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Here are some beautiful views. Oh, here's the guy. Here's the guy. Here's the guy. The what is he called? Champs. Mace of the Champs, I believe. He climbed the entire Salesforce Tower. He free climbed the entire Salesforce Tower. Look at this. There's no gear, nothing around him. He's just climbing. He's just climbing with his pouch of chalk, and he climbed all the way up. And as he reached the top, he got arrested. And I don't know what happened then, but very interesting. Completion was mixed. Critical reception. Many residents found the tower to be an inappropriate Manhattanization of San Francisco, viewing it as out of place in the city's skyline. San Francisco Chronicle's design critic John King described the tower as having an air of detachment and lacking fun despite its size. Some residents criticized the tower for its lack of risk or ambition in design, compensating with sheer size instead. That's crazy. That is kind of crazy. Huh. Lack of risk or ambition in design, compensating with sheer size instead. Hmm. Visual impact. Tower was seen as not complementing the existing skyline, with some describing it as an ill-fitting appendage. Residents noted that it dwarfed the downtown structures, leaving the skyline looking unbalanced. That kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. It is the tallest one, and you kind of feel like, oh, it is not complimenting. It's like standing out. It's literally like a tall poppy, tall poppy syndrome. Interesting. Some compared it unfavorably to other controversial additions to the skyline, like the Transamerica Pyramid, which was initially despised but later accepted. Again, that makes sense. When Transamerica Pyramid was probably constructed, it was also the tallest one. It was kind of the ambitious for the builders, but it had kind of a weird critical reception from the residents, but then it became accepted because it just now stands for 50 years, and now people think that Transmega Pyramid is cool, and it is the iconic structure of the city, and Salesforce Tower looks unbalanced. But wait for 50 more years, and then Salesforce Tower will become the normal, and the new one will be criticized like this. Informal survey of San Francisco residents revealed predominantly negative opinions, with response including, "Yeah, I hate it. Why is it so fucking big? And it's dumb and stupid and takes up too much space." Some residents felt the tower symbolized the tech industry's takeover of the city and the associated problems of expensive housing and gentrification. This is actually so interesting. Like, Salesforce wasn't involved in the construction of this tower. The city, this was the decision of the San Francisco city to urbanize and make something really cool. And it's interesting how just because it's called Salesforce Tower, people think that Salesforce built this, and then they relate all the issues with the tower with Salesforce, which kind of makes sense. They did collaborate. It is the main tenant, it is the anchor tenant, but the construction was done by the city. Very interesting. The design, the construction, everything was done by the city. Despite the criticism, some appreciate the tower's observation deck and the adjacent Salesforce Park, which offered new public spaces. The Salesforce Park is beautiful. I also think, like, when I was walking around the city yesterday, I can see how megastructures are so important for humans. Like, when there's a structure where you have to look up into the sky so high that your neck hurts, kind of raises your ambition. It kind of makes you think bigger when you look at something that big. It's important. It's important. This is exactly the reason why people say that when I go to New York, or when I go to New York, when I go to Manhattan, it just raises my ambition levels. It's because you are now around things that were built by humans just like you, who are broken just like you, but they build these massive things that you are looking up high in the sky, and they are dissolving into the sky, and your neck is hurting. And that's why it raises your ambition. Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat named Salesforce Tower as the best tall building worldwide, indicating some professional recognition. Some observers noted that the Transamerica Pyramid before it opinions on Salesforce Tower might evolve over time as residents become more accustomed to its presence in the skyline. That makes sense. How did local businesses react to the presence of Salesforce Tower? Let's see. Let's see what we have over here. Definitely the return of employees. If employees return in this really high density area, that definitely does bring a lot of just a bunch of coffee runs, a bunch of coffee shops run. Really cool. Experience significant fluctuations in their fortunes, largely tied to the presence or absence of Salesforce employees in the area. That also makes sense. Like, one Salesforce policy, like if Salesforce suddenly says that, okay, now we have a hybrid system where you have to come to work only 3 days a week instead of the entire week, suddenly that affects the business, the local businesses, and their coffee sales. That's kind of crazy. Before COVID 19, restaurants and cafes experience bustling lunch rushes. Makes sense. Lines of office workers stretched down the street outside eateries. A robust ecosystem of shops and services had developed to cater to the needs of nearby office workers. Pandemic induced downturn. I mean, you cannot blame it. Yeah, I think the blame is on COVID. Shift to remote work had a severe impact on local businesses. Many retailers temporarily closed, with some shuttering permanently. The area became described as a sullen shadow of itself. Retail rent in the nearby Union Square area dropped by nearly 30%, while vacancies approximately tripled. The vacancies is also real. Like, when I walk around Union Square. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. It seems these are like places, just these are buildings, these are old buildings, old architecture that you would see just like in Soho in Manhattan. Beautiful 4 to 5 story buildings. They have the texture, they have the story, the history to it, and these are all closed. They are all vacant, and it's kind of sad to see that. It's really sad to see that because you could build such a beautiful you could build you could build so beautiful experiences over here, and you could make this a walkable street, and people and kids and families would be just walking around over here. It could be so much better over here, so much beautiful over here. The weather is perfect, but it's not, and that is kind of sad. The return of Salesforce employees to the office has been met with enthusiasm and relief. Restaurants like Japan House reported being busy very much with the return of Salesforce workers. Of Oasis Grill expressed happiness about the potential return of business, stating it would help pay employees and expenses. Andytown Coffee Roasters in Salesforce Park experienced unusually high traffic on a Monday morning, with one barista reporting toasting more breakfast sandwiches than on any recent day. However, the recovery is still ongoing. Some businesses note that most buildings are still not at full capacity. It definitely feels like, I think yesterday was Monday, and it felt like the entire city was empty. I didn't see too many office workers over here. I don't know what was the reason, but yeah, I think it is not that packed. However, the recovery is still ongoing. Some businesses note that most buildings are still not at full capacity. There's hope among business owners that workers will eventually return 5 days a week. Empty retail spaces in the area remain a concern for full economic recovery. I only see luxury brands, luxury brands because they have the money, they can build something really beautiful, they can offer a great experience, they can sustain some fluctuations as building in this area. Because yeah, if you have a small eatery and suddenly people stop coming, you are in a crunch. You don't know how to pay for employees, you don't know what to do when you show up that day. All your food might go to waste. All your employees are just sitting and you still have to pay them, and you don't know how to react to that fluctuation. It is so dependent on some work from home policies of all these massive tech companies. So let's see. Quotes. I'm actually curious. Quotes from Mark Benioff about Salesforce Tower. Let's see if we can get something. Definitely, if you are, let's say, CEO of a company, if you're running a company, and if you stand at the Ohana floor, the 61st floor of the most important city in North America, and you look down and you look at the Golden Gate Bridge and everything, it definitely feels inspiring. It definitely feels, again, raises your ambition. You are looking at something so massive. Let's see. There's a massive digital transformation happening. If you look at the retail industry, for example, they're competing against pure digital players and want a frictionless experience between screen and physical space. They are building a one-on-one personalized relationship. I hope you see this tower as a beacon, a symbol of hope that there is a company, people, and city unified as one San Francisco, determined to ensure every member of a community is a part of the dignity, the equality, and opportunity that every person deserves. Interesting. Very vague, though. Very vague. Okay. You need to get to the future ahead of your customers and be ready to greet them when they arrive. Makes sense? This is okay. Show off. Oh, this is Transamerica Pyramid. Show off. Nice. Nice. The business of business is not business. The business of business is improving the state of the world. The business of business is not business. The business of business is improving the state of the world. Makes sense? You need to get to the future ahead of your customers and be ready to greet them when they arrive. Makes sense. Okay. When journalist Kara Swisher criticized the tower's appearance, Benioff responded humorously, I didn't build the building, so I apologize on behalf of Boston Properties. This is this is really cool. This is really cool. Not many people know. Not many people know that this building was not built by Salesforce. It was built by Boston Properties. It was designed by Caesar Pelli. Wow, wow. Benioff sees the tower as an important part of Salesforce culture. We think Bringing people to the tower is important for employees in building a culture. This is cool. One quote from a movie: happiness is real when shared. And when you go to the top, the Ohana floor, and you are with a friend, or your team of interns, or your team of newly hired employees, or new executive team, and you look at the the golden hour, you look at the Golden Gate Bridge, the Bay Bridge, you are looking at the entire city. That must be memorable. That must be an experience. That makes sense. It helps build a culture. You are looking at a wonder together, and that's a memory. That's a core memory. In a more reflective moment, Benioff stated, caring for him after caring for him after his stroke, the monastics asked me to have one floor of Salesforce Tower dedicated to silence. While caring for him after his stroke, the monastics asked me to have one floor of Salesforce Tower dedicated to silence. Very interesting. Very interesting. He's also used the tower to playfully jab at competitors. When Oracle Park's calendar omitted Salesforce Tower from the San Francisco skyline, Benioff tweeted and later deleted, "Someone has tower envy." Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. It seems like Oracle Park and Salesforce are now working together because Oracle Park is, I forgot what the team. I think it's San Francisco Giants. It is the stadium for San Francisco's Giant, and one of the core sponsor seems to be Salesforce. So it seems like they have come together. They are friends again. Very interesting. Very interesting. What did Mark Benioff say about the design of Salesforce Tower? Look at this beautiful view. Look at this beautiful view. Symbolic importance. Emphasize it is not just a skyscraper but a symbol of hope for the community. Personal connection. With the tower, we were planting Salesforce's headquarters in downtown San Francisco permanently. We were sending the message that we were here to stay. It definitely sends a message. You signed a $560 million lease for 15 and a half years. That means you are sending a message that we will survive for at least 15 and a half more years after 2017. That's crazy. That's crazy because we don't know what's going to happen with AI. AI CRMs are the big thing right now. We don't know what's going to happen. Okay. Community focus. Benioff mentioned the designs intend to foster community engagement, particularly with the top floor being dedicated to public use. The 61st floor will become a community gathering space called the Ohana floor. Okay. Available to a wider community of partners and nonprofits for use free of charge. Aspirational vision. He noted that building tall buildings is fundamentally an aspirational act and an act of optimism, indicating his belief in the tower as part of a hopeful future of San Francisco. Yeah, definitely. Very mixed views. Very mixed views. When you come to the top over here, and if you are optimistic about the world, you even become more optimistic, and you would understand why would an optimistic person build something like that, because they just want to build things that inspire. This is actually very interesting. Yeah. When you build a tall building like that to the right people, it is an inspiration. It is an inspiration. Inspiration, aspiration, whatever. Acknowledgement of challenges. Benioff has also acknowledged the pressing social issues facing San Francisco, such as inequality and homelessness. Maybe this is also the thing when you're bringing a bunch of optimistic people, few of them would direct their energy and their optimism to these kind of challenges, to inequality and homelessness, and they would direct their energy into building AI, building something that leads to more abundance, where price is no matter the issue because everybody just has abundance of energy, abundance of resources, abundance of knowledge, abundance of food, abundance of home. I think you just need one home. You need one home. You need good amount of food. You need, uh, you need, you need, you need a situation where all the essentials are at least something that you can afford. There is no lack of essentials that you would need: water, food, bed. Humor and criticism. Regarding the building's design, Benioff humorously remarked, "I didn't build the building, so I apologize on behalf of Boston Properties." Okay, let's see. Ooh, what is this? How did Mark Benioff's grandfather influence his decision to build Salesforce Tower? We never knew about this thing. Mark Benioff's grandfather. Supervisors get full report on proposed monorail transit. Okay, okay. His grandfather, Marvin Lewis, had a significant influence on Benioff's decision to build Salesforce Tower and his overall approach to business and civic engagement in San Francisco. Inspiration: inspiring him to be an activist CEO who takes stance on social issues. Served as San Francisco supervisor for 11 years and was known as the father of BART, championing public transit and leaving a physical mark on the city. Okay, this is really cool. This is really cool because this is very meritocratic. I believe this is very meritocratic because his grandfather was a San Francisco supervisor. He was father of the BART, championing public transit, and all that mindset, all his mindset, all the work he did, all the achievement and success he got, his mind, he had a specific mindset, and that was, and Mark Benioff's success was a downstream of that because he was kind of grown up with that kind of mindset. And then he did his own thing. He wasn't just he didn't just latch on to his father grandfather's success. He built his own thing. I think Salesforce and what his grandfather did are totally two separate things. So that's really cool to see. Philanthropic values. Lewis would give money to homeless people during walks with young Benioff, instilling compassion for the less fortunate. This influenced Benioff's later philanthropic efforts and support for initiatives to address homelessness in San Francisco. He wanted to leave a physical mark on San Francisco, which manifested in the Salesforce Tower project. So the tower is a way to plant the headquarters permanently, demonstrating loyalty to his hometown. Oh, that was the hometown. Vision for the city. Ambitious infrastructure project like BART inspired Benioff to think big about Salesforce's impact on the city. Wow. Aim for the tower to be a beacon and symbol of hope. Tell me the story of when Salesforce decided to become the anchor tenant of Salesforce Tower. Let's see. Let's see what we have. Very interesting. Significant milestone in the company's history. Okay, quick check. It seems like the weather is clearing up. Let's see. We might have a beautiful view. Let's see. Decision. Salesforce.com announced that it had signed a lease for 700,000 square feet of space in what was then known as Transbay Tower, leasing more than half of the 1.4 million square foot building. Background and context. Salesforce platform multi-tenant metadata. This is something else. Salesforce West 50 Fremont, Salesforce East 350 Mission. Yeah, these are the towers right behind it, the campus. The firm will occupy nearly all the space in three towers framing the corner of Mission and Fremont streets. The firm will occupy nearly all the space in three towers framing. Interesting. It would be so sad for you to have your desk over here when you know that your friend, who pretty much your friend or the new intern gets to work from Salesforce Tower, and you get to use the smaller building. Hmm. Might be weird, but let's see. Oh, top view, top view. Look at this. These are all the sunshades. Okay. Tower was part of the larger redevelopment plan for the Transbay area adopted by San Francisco in 2005. Developer Hines and architect Cesar Pelli won a global competition to design and develop the site. Construction on the tower began in 2013 with Boston Properties owning 95% of the project and Hines retaining 5%. Interesting. Developer Hines and architect Cesar Pelli. So Cesar Pelli designed it along with developer Hines. Then Boston Properties constructed it. Salesforce growth and need for space. Founded in 99, Salesforce had experienced rapid growth, expanding from 1,600 employees worldwide in 2006 to projections of 10,000 employees in San Francisco alone by 2020. Okay, needed to dramatically expand its worldwide headquarters to accommodate this growth. The lease, valued at 560 million over 15.5 years starting in 2017, encompassed floors 3 through 30 and the 61st floor. Okay, interesting, interesting. So they got floors 3 to 30 and the 61st floor. This addition would bring Salesforce's total San Francisco office space to over 2 million square feet by 2017. Deal was hailed as the largest lease in San Francisco's history at the time, solidified their commitment. We founded Salesforce in San Francisco 15 years ago, and this expansion of our urban campus represents our commitment to growing in the city. Building was renamed Salesforce Tower following the announcement. Featured next generation executive briefing center in the tower to showcase the innovative platform and applications. Start moving employees into the new tower in early 2018. Hmm, interesting. What is the story of how Mark Benioff started Salesforce? Let's see what we have. Story of entrepreneurial spirit, technological innovation, and a vision to revolutionize the software industry. At 15, he founded Liberty Software. Wow. Creating and selling games for the. Let's first check out some photos. Here's the young Mark Benioff, the end of software photo. Okay, interesting. At 15, he founded Liberty Software, creating and selling games for the Atari 8-bit computer. He sold his first application, How to Juggle, for $75 while still in high school. These early ventures helped him pay for college. Oracle years and mentorship. Oh, so Oracle and Salesforce goes way back. They go way back. After graduating from the University of Southern California in 86, he joined Oracle Corporation. He spent 13 years at Oracle in various sales, marketing, and product development roles. 23, he was named Oracle's Rookie of the Year. Okay. By 26, he became the youngest vice president in the company's history. Very cool. By 26, he became the youngest vice president in the company's history. Larry Ellison, Oracle's founder, became a close mentor to Benioff. Interesting. Interesting. At 23, he was named Oracle's Rookie of the Year. By 26, he became the youngest VP in the company's history. Larry Ellison became a close mentor to Benioff. After 13 years, he felt the need for something new. With Ellison's permission, he took a sabbatical to travel the world. During this time, he spent part of his sabbatical studying meditation in Hawaii. He spent part of his sabbatical studying meditation in Hawaii. This is so cool. This is so cool. Mark Benioff, really smart guy. For 13 years, he rises up the ranks in this company called Oracle. He crushes it. We know that he is going to do something crazy. At that point of time, he wanted to travel the world and he picks Hawaii. Why? Because it is the most beautiful. And that one decision changes everything because he goes to Hawaii. It is extremely beautiful. He learns about the culture, he learns about the Ohana, and now everything about Salesforce is all about the Ohana. The 64th floor of Salesforce Tower is called Ohana floor. This is crazy. This is crazy how being a good tourist destination can change, has compounding effects because Hawaii is beautiful. Hawaii has invested a lot in the travel infrastructure in the tourism industry. And then when smart people like this, really ambitious people like this, they pick Hawaii because it is the most beautiful. They come over there, they learn about the culture. It has rich culture, it has beauty, They learn about it, and that totally changes the way they think about it. And then they go back, they build something with those principles in mind, and that kind of promotes your culture even more. That is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. Mario Salesforce reportedly came to Benioff while swimming with dolphins, founding Salesforce. He took the leap and founded Salesforce. He started the company with three co-founders, Parker Harris, Dave Muhlenhoff, and Frank Dominguez. Their base was a rented one-bedroom apartment at 1449 Montgomery Street in San Francisco. The team had a clear vision to be a world-class internet company for Salesforce automation. They aimed to create an easy-to-maintain platform without complex software maintenance. That is kind of interesting because today Salesforce is seen as one of the most complicated CRM. You need a Salesforce assistant or Salesforce advisor just to use the CRM. That is definitely crazy. Pioneered the software as a service model, revolutionizing business technology, cultivated a unique startup culture. The team worked on what they believed was important and necessary with no fluff as their mantra. They wore Hawaiian print shirts and appointed Benioff's dog Koa as chief love officer. The company wrote its first V2MOM: vision, values, methods, obstacles, and measures strategic plan on the back of an envelope. His vision for Salesforce was encapsulated in the marketing statement, the end of software. Right here, the end of software, challenging the dominant CD-ROM based CRM software providers of the time. This vision, combined with Benioff's experience and entrepreneurial spirit, set the foundation for Salesforce to become a global leader in cloud based CRM solutions. Hmm. Let's see. Quotes from Mark Benioff on life and career. Let's see what we get. Shared many insightful quotes on life and career throughout his journey as an entrepreneur and business leader, on strategy and innovation. One idea alone is a tactic, but if it can be executed a number of different ways, it becomes a great strategy. One idea alone is a tactic, but if it can be executed a number of different ways, it becomes a great strategy. Keep in mind that the landscape is always changing. You must always examine what's working, evolve your ideas, and change the way you do things. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Really good ones on strategy and innovation. Keep in mind that the landscape is always changing. You must always examine what's working, evolve your ideas, and change the way you do things. The best way to predict the future is to create it. On customer focus. Most of all, I discovered that in order to succeed with the product, whoa, whoa, my light just turned off. Okay. Most of all, I discovered that in order to succeed with a product, you must truly get to know your customers and build something for them. I discovered that in order to succeed with a product, you must truly get to know your customers and build something for them. You need to get to the future ahead of your customers and be ready to greet them when they arrive. The secret to successful hiring is this: look for the people who want to change the world. You can't outsource your culture. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. The secret to successful hiring is this: look for the people who want to change the world. On business and values, there's no way to put a dollar value on values. And yes, there will be times when prioritizing values, especially trust, will come at the expense of profits. In the short term, that is. The great miscalculation of the age is the idea that businesses have to make a choice to become profitable or to become platforms for change. This is not the case. They have to be both, to become profitable and to become platforms for change. Life grows relative to one's investment in it. The real joy in life comes from giving, it comes from service, it comes from doing things for other people. Really cool. Really cool. How was Boston Properties? Tell me the story how Boston Properties was picked to construct Salesforce Tower. Let's see what we get. The story of how Boston Properties came to construct involves several key events and transitions. 2007, a global competition was held to select a developer and architect for the Transway Tower project. Heinz Interests Limited Partnership partnered with architect Cesar Pelli of Pelli Clark Pelli Architects won this competition. The proposal was chosen over submissions from other notable firms, including Forest City Enterprises, with architect Richard Rogers and Rockefeller Development Group Corp, with Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. Oh, BXP is Boston Properties. Okay, interesting. However, the project faced delays due to the Great Recession that hit in late 2008. Ground wasn't broken until 2013. In 2012, Boston Properties acquired a 50% stake in the project. 2013, Boston Properties increased its ownership to 95% of the project, acquiring most of Heinz's remaining interest. This move effectively made Boston Properties the lead developer. By May 2019, Boston Properties had bought out Heinz's remaining stake, becoming the sole owner and operator of Salesforce Tower. This is very interesting. The transition of ownership from Heinz to Boston Properties was gradual but significant, ultimately resulting in BP taking full control of the project's development and construction. Coincided with the actual start of construction in 2013, allowing the project to move forward. Hmm, this is interesting. Full ownership and control. Became the sole owner and operator by acquiring the final stake in 2019. The transaction valued at $210 million. Transaction value at 210 million gave Boston Properties complete control over the 1.4 million square foot building. Acquisition price implies a total valuation of approximately 4.2 billion for the entire building. Set a record value of 2700 per square foot for office space in San Francisco at the time. It's actually kind of crazy. Like, I'm seeing so much space right over here that is empty. It's empty because they have this open space concept. Hmm, they're definitely not just cramping everything into the office. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of space. Okay, very interesting. And I think the fog has cleared up. We might see a beautiful, beautiful view of the city now. I'm excited. I'm excited. The company consolidated portfolio in a prime location, owning the tallest building in San Francisco. It allowed Boston Properties to have complete decision-making authority over the property's operations and future strategy. At the time of the transaction, the building was 82.5% leased, indicating strong potential for future revenue growth. Capture all future value appreciation and income from the property. Okay, that's a stream. Thank you. Thank you. This was a beautiful stream from the iconic Salesforce Tower of San Francisco.